Right. Okay. So we're live now, I think. Let me double check on my phone. Let me watch my own live stream and see what's happening. Can you see the chat, by the way, IKO? Can you see the chat? Okay, we're live. Yeah, okay. I think people can hear us. There we go. IKO, hello? Oh.
I'm here.
Okay, hey. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? So, today we have a special guest called IKO who specializes in Japanese
Eastern Asian crimes.
basically. Asian crimes, yeah, Asian crimes. So so Aiko's going to be talking about a few dark and disturbing crimes that have happened in those areas. So without further ado, go on then, Aiko, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. 皆さん、はじめまして。私はAiko と申します。シカゴから来ました。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。My name is Ashley or Aiko. I've worked with Surviving Life. This is one of the first things I've done with Disturban. You're going to have to apologize because I'm just getting over having strep throat. I am really into Asian culture, dark and disturbing things. I have my bachelor's in Chinese and Japanese studies. I've studied in China. I speak an okay amount of Japanese, some Korean, and some Chinese Mandarin. So I'm just kind of into true crime and disturbing stuff. So that's how we kind of came about to meeting each other.
That's what I'll do. I'm going to double check my microphone is on. Can everyone hear me okay, by the way? Somebody said that they can't hear me very well.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah, okay, that's right then. Somebody said I'm a little bit quiet, but it should be okay. And here we go. I'll just quickly spam in the chat real quick before. Here is Aiko's channel if anyone wants to go and subscribe.
Hello, everyone. I don't always talk about true crime because YouTube isn't my full-time job. Well, now being unemployed is, unfortunately, but
Aiko's very good. I enjoy watching Aiko. She's very good. So here we go. So yeah, Aiko, if you'd like to start.
They say it's muffled. You're muffled. I don't know how this stuff works. I do stuff on PowerPoint, kids. I'm the PowerPoint queen. Because what is a YouTube video but pre-recorded PowerPoint videos with some sound?
Let me see if we can sort this out real quick before we go ahead. So I'm on Streamlabs now. So it's.
I don't want another person to ever tell me to spend money on blood.
Can anyone hear me now? Is it working better? Hello, hello, hello. Is this working better? I've just turned it up a little bit, I think. I wonder why it's doing. I'm low. That's weird. Okay.
I don't even use Streamlabs. I don't know how any of this works.
Okay, it's better now. It's better. We've got it. Yeah. Okay, sick. Cool. Okay, now we're going back to Aiko. There we go. Hey Aiko, how you doing? There we go.
Good. I'm great. Just getting over having strep throat. But doing good.
You sound fine. I think you sound good.
I sound like I'm like a prepubescent boy. Like I might have to.
That's actually legit what I sounded like. My voice was super. One of my voice broke finally. I had a very high pitched voice until I got to 14, and then it broke, and it was real deep.
I can hear both of us. Yeah, your stuff is amazing, by the way. Thank you so much for having me on your stream.
Oh, thank you.
Like,
you're welcome.
I woke up mid-sleep to one of your videos of like disturbing 911 calls about some kid that shot his friend in the head, and I about pissed my pants.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that actually. Yeah, sorry about that.
I was like, "What is this? What am I watching?" Creepy. So I saw somebody in the chat mention something earlier about Junko Furuta and the otaku killer. The otaku killer we're not talking about today. It's since I'm losing my voice and I don't want it to completely go, we're just going to quickly go over 2 quick crimes. Yeah, I've thought about gargling with salt water. Hold on. Oh my gosh, I'm so professional. Are you guys ready to see my PowerPoint skills? This is why I got a 4.0 in university.
Somebody just said my voice turns them on. Lucy Moonflowers, my voice turns them on. Thank you.
Me and Lucy has something in common.
That's a good compliment.
That is a good compliment.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so
I,
Junko's one that like is like probably one of the most infamous crimes ever heard.
yes. And her legacy, we just got done talking about this, is the girl encased in concrete. I don't know if it's because I have crotch goblins now and I've had kids, but like when I like think about my daughter who was viciously murdered being considered the girl encased in concrete, I would have wanted a better legacy for her. So I just go by Junko Furuta. And when I say crotch goblins, I'm talking about my children. So just an FYI what that means. So Juku Furuta was a 17-year-old girl that was from, I think it was the team prefecture, or what is it, Misato in Japan. And she was a very lovable, sweet high school girl. She worked a part-time job, had a loving family at home with a respective younger and older brother. She did very well in school, didn't do anything that a normal good girl wouldn't do. Like all other people were going out and partying, drinking, you know, sort of experimenting at being 17. She really had her path in life, and it completely got ripped out from underneath her just suddenly on a whim, just by coming across four young boys. So,
Yeah.
and that happened on sorry, it's in Japanese date. So in Japanese time, that you take the biggest unit of time first and go down to the lowest. So on November 25th, 1988, she ran into Miyano Hiroshi and Minato Nobuharu. And she was walking home from, some people say it was school, others say it was from a part-time job. And Miyano told Nobuharu to go over and kick her bike over. So he went over, kicked Junko's bike, ran away. And Miyano wanted to seem like chivalry wasn't dead, like Junko didn't see him. So with Nobuharu, so he went over there and said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that happened. Let me help walk you home." You know, just seem like a real gentleman type. Sorry. So he started to walk Junko home. And just a little backstory, these are all kids that came from troubled homes. Well, some of them weren't so troubled, like normal troubled, like their parents worked a lot, but they all had tiers with Yakuza and low tier biker gangs, which are sort of like a recruiting level for the lower level of the Yakuzas, which I did a little video of that on my channel. I actually did a 4.5 hour class once a week on the underground crime syndicates of Eastern Asia. So that
Oh
was
wow.
pretty interesting.
Okay. So for people
So
that don't know, what is the Yakuza? Because I know bits
the
about it, I actually don't know too much about the Yakuza.
The Yakuza is actually one of the largest, most organized crime syndicates in the world. Like they probably rival the mafia, except they're more organized, and their infiltration into every aspect of the Japanese society, politics, money, the stock market. Basically, there's times where they said that if the Yakuza falls, like the Japanese economy would be screwed. So they've really
Wow.
infiltrated every
That's
aspect of Japanese
insane.
culture. Yeah.
So you can't
So
even
I
take them
was actually
down.
they kind of are like a necessary evil at this
Yeah.
point. Like they help out with things, but then like, you know, they're doing a drug trade and human trafficking, but they're helping donating masks and helping with necessities during a pandemic. It's like it just
That's
depends on who you
yeah,
are.
that's like Pablo Escobar. It's kind of like he's involved in drugs, but he's also building schools and stuff. It's like
Yeah, he's beheading your neighbor because he tried to steal his cocoa leaves, but then he's like, you know, helping your other neighbor with some
yeah,
toiletries.
mad. Okay, that's interesting. Cool.
Oh, you don't even know, thieves. They're pretty organized. They actually helped instill the first emperor of Japan and all of like the diet of the Japanese government after MacArthur came over to Japan after we kicked their butts in World War II. It's very interesting. So, anyways, back to the story. So Miyano started walking Juko home, and she was just way too trusting and sweet of a girl because Miyano, instead of walking her home, ended up walking her to a warehouse where he began to rape her. And then from there, he kept telling her, "I'm Yakuza. If you mess with me or don't do what I say, I'm going to kill you and your family." And eventually, he took Juko to a hotel and raped her again. And then Minato, Watanabe Yasushi, and Joe Kamisaku, all of them ended up meeting in a park discussing what they were going to do with Junko. And so they decided, after finding a notebook in her school bag, which had all of her family's information on it, they took that notebook and told her, "You're going to come back to Minato's house or whatever, and you're gonna stay there until we tell you can leave, or we're gonna kill your whole family. So don't try anything funny.
Oh, sorry, 2 seconds, Aiko. Somebody's saying you've got a bit of a echo going on.
I don't know how to fix that. I think it's just my voice.
You sound fine on my end, but how strange, yeah.
Is there an
Aiko, there's an
echo?
echo. Yeah, a few people said there's an echo. I'm not too sure that would be. I don't know
Do
if it's
you
me.
have something open on your screen?
Um, no.
Like, do you have the YouTube thing open on your screen?
What do you mean? Sorry,
Like, I have the live stream open on a laptop.
I've got it open.
So
Yeah, I've got it open on my phone, but it's muted, so um, it's a little echo. How weird. Do you want to try and? I don't know. How do you fix an echo? Do you have to unplug it or plug it, or I don't know what you got to do.
I don't know.
How weird.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have anything open on my end. Oh, I can't even look. It goes right back to the thing. Maybe that.
Use headphones or turn off speed. I'm using headphones and I'm using
I don't own headphones. I can't even pay my phone bill. So you guys are just gonna have to bear with me.
acoustics.
This,
Oh, then it's just the acoustics. It's a really small echo, but it's very slight.
oh, okay. People were making it sound like it was like a crazy echo. Oh no, I missed my spot. Okay. Okay. Well, okay.
We can
Okay.
proceed. We'll be fine, I think. Yeah.
So, anyways, they went back to Minato's house and they kept her captive there against her will for 44 days. Mind you, during this whole entire time, Minato's parents are there and his brother, and they know what's going on, and nobody steps up to help Junko. Now, I'm going to tell you in extreme detail. If you are eating, if you're not good with extreme descriptions of torture, rape, mutilation, sodomy, anything like that, you might just want to clear the room or just put on your earmuffs for just a second because you're not going to like what's about to happen. So, one of the things that really caught me about this case is how much information and detail that there actually was out there. So much so, there's like I can't even, like I said, when I watched one of your shows the other day when you were talking about that vampire of LA that like cut the lady's face off, like that's just like a cakewalk compared to this. So for 44 days, she was raped by over 400, she was sexually assaulted over 400 times by around 100 different men. She was burned with cigarette lighters. She had fireworks, scissors, live light bulbs shoved into her sexual cavities and broken in them. She was forced to eat her own feces and urine. She had dumbbells dropped on her stomach. She tried to escape once by she tried to escape once and they beat the crap out of her. They would hang her from the ceiling and use her as a punching bag. Um, they would stick needles in her breasts and cut off her nipples.
Mm.
One time she actually tried calling the police, and I think it was Miyano Hiroshi that caught her. They ended up putting lighter fluid all over her legs and setting her on fire for 2 minutes, just enough to make it torture her, but not enough to actually kill her. So it was extreme. So by like day 11, she has been severely beaten countless times a day. And it was she was beat with bamboo sticks. I think the worst thing that I think I read that they did to her that really stuck with me is they stuck fireworks inside her anus and her vagina and set them off.
Oh my god. I've never read that about
Yeah,
her before. I didn't actually know that bit.
yeah, and she had her nose got broken. She couldn't breathe out of her nose anymore. They would like light candles and set them on her eyelids, and they would put lit cigarettes into her vagina as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
So that's only some of what they did to her. I don't even want to go into all the detail. That was just like the light details. Yeah. So I could not imagine, like, close to the end, she was begging for them to kill her, and they would not. They refused. It was a game to them. They even had friends come over and they would show her off like she was some type of trophy. There was even girls that went over and drew on her face and nobody said something. Somebody said something once. A boy went home and told his parents, and the parents contacted the authorities, and the authorities went over there, and Minato Nobuharu's parents opened the door and they're like, if we had a girl here, don't you think we would know? They're like, do you want to come in? And they're like, oh no, that's fine. They thought that them allowing them in would be enough, and they just walked away. So I forgot to mention, I yes, they do have a channel. I don't know how low people can go. So like I forgot to mention in the beginning, public speaking is not my best thing. Okay, guys, I get really excited and I talk too fast. In the beginning, he told Minato told his parents that this was his girlfriend. So she was pretending she was a girlfriend. She would go down and eat meals with the family, but she would never leave. They actually had Junko call her family and say, I've run away. I'm never coming back. Call out the police searches. I'm fine. They had him do that several times. So after a while, the police stopped searching for her, even though Junko's family knew that she was such a good girl, she would never do that. Or there's 368 people watching me talk right now.
How mad's that?
So yeah.
Fuck.
So let me look at my notes. I'm a note taker, guys. What does IKO mean? IKO is short for AIKO because surviving life can't pronounce it the same way with an A. That's the true story of that. I literally had to remove one letter for him to be able to pronounce my name. Love you. Okay, so
yeah,
let me
you're
look
actually
at
Aiko. Shrouded Hand just said too that you're a great public speaker. I agree. You're very good. You're very
I
hard on
get so
yourself.
nervous. I am like sweating more over here than when they asked Georgia to recount the ballots. Like I am going hard over here, and it's hot. So I'm a little fun hanging out with person. I'm not gonna lie to that person, but like somebody would end up missing in like the hangover, and someone would get arrested. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. Okay. So, anyways, now I gotta find my spot again. Intermission. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns, Disturban while I find my spot?
Me. So, have you ever heard of a case as bad as this one? Because
I cried about this for 4 hours today. I had to call Ron to tell him I was sad that they stuck light bulbs in her vagina. I like literally cried over this.
It's like beyond cruel. It's like one day of this would be like horrendous. 10 days of this would be awful, but 40 days is like just.
I would have like tried to kill myself. I think.
Yeah, so would I.
I have 44 days.
Yeah, I think.
And how did the parents not know the ones that they were in the house with? Like, I don't know how the neighbors didn't know. They would torture her like it was winter when this happened. They would leave her naked out on the balcony on the front, just sitting there overnight, and she was just so exhausted at a certain point. She ended up just wetting herself and going to the bathroom all over herself because she didn't have the energy to crawl down the stairs to use the bathroom anymore.
I tell you what's really crazy is like what I've found with a lot of cases when I research them and stuff is this whole group mentality. So I've covered a few cases. For instance, there's I cannot remember a name for the life of me. Let me have a quick look. But like a lot of the time, when there's a group of people and there's one victim, it just escalates so fast. It's crazy. Like it starts off with
was everybody talking about like the Zimbardo experiment?
You know what? I didn't think of that. No, but I've done a case called that's a really good point actually. That's how it can escalate. But like I did a case about a woman called Jennifer Doherty, and she was like a disabled girl who got tortured. And it started off they were just like mocking her. They were like taking the piss out of her. Then they started punching her, and then they just
was that the one where tortured her? Drink nail polish and stuff.
Drink nail polish, poured chili powder into her, like held her eyes open, poured chili powder into her eyes, and then they strangled her, stabbed her. She was alive still, and it was just horrendous. And then you've got ones like what's she called? Samantha.
What is that American girl where she was her and her sister, her dad left her with this lady, and all of the neighborhood boys like tortured the girl until she eventually died. I don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about. The guy, well, he's a guy now that when he was a girl played Juno. She was the actress in the film for this story, but I don't remember what
Ellen
it was.
Page, is it? I'll have to check that out. Yeah.
Ellen Page.
Yeah. It's
Elliot Page.
Elliot Page. No, okay, yeah. It's there's another one with Samantha Payne that started off as well. Like they were just taking it started off with like they were mocking her, and then they just took her to a forest, pulled all her toenails off, all her nails off, pulled her teeth out with pliers, and then they like slowly decapitated her while they tied her to a tree with barbed wire. And it's just like this weird elevation of like when there's a group of people and one victim, it just gets so out of hand. Like it starts off kind of well. This to be fair,
It's
this
like
one kind of started off
reverse
full on.
bystander effect. It only takes a
Yeah,
certain amount of people to normalize something as acceptable for everyone to do it, like with the Zimbardo experiment. Got my
yeah,
minor in sociology, so I get to see big words.
yeah. Well, I
But
learned about that
yeah,
too in sociology as well. Yeah, the Zimbabwe. Yeah, it's a classic.
yeah. But yeah, one of the family said that once this when they actually went to court, the family was scared him because he did have ties to Yakuza, which he did. Which when you figure out the sentences they got, you guys are gonna freaking want to like punch a wall. So yeah. So 44 days this. Now I lost my spot again.
You're all good.
Wait, yes, yes, Scribbles, McSmarty Pants. That happened in oh gosh. I know what you're talking about. There was a Chinese woman whose body was cut into 1,000 pieces
Holy
and
shit! Yeah,
dispersed against the whole campus.
Lazy
And I
Master Raid did
forgot which
that.
campus.
Lazy Master
Yes,
Raid
what
played
was it
that.
in Nanjing? University of Nanjing or
It was
something?
it was really covered up, wasn't it? Like it kind of got swept under the rug. Like we kind of didn't really talk about. No one talks about it apparently. Apparently, it's like really over there. You
Lazy
don't talk about
Masquerade
it.
is the only one I could find out about it.
Yeah,
I would ask a friend in China, but the Chinese government hates me and I'm banned from using apps because I have a big mouth, which I don't care because the
really.
Chinese.
You're on the radar of the Chinese. That's pretty impressive. No way.
I got caught watching Netflix and then I said the Chinese Communist Party sucks.
You can't say that
And I
on
get
the. You're not allowed to say that to the
harassed.
Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah. So, anyways, so I one thing about what I do streams, I always read all the chats. So, anyways, what was I saying?
So we're
On
talking about. I think we got to
January,
the point where she was being she was using the punching bag. And then she was like
yeah.
basically going to the toilet on herself, and she couldn't scream
So,
anymore.
despite all of this torture, on January 4th of 1989, the boys decide to play a game of Mahjong with Junko because after I've had light bulbs shoved in my vagina, I really feel like playing a game of Mahjong. No, I'd be trying to figure out ways to kill myself at this point. So that I guess that's how unbreakable her spirit was. So that's very admirable. But little did she know that she would beat the boys in Mahjong and they tortured her for the last time. They ended up dropping dumbbells on her chest repeatedly until all of her internal organs got crushed and she started gargling blood out of her mouth. And then they held her up and started beating her with metal pipes. And she ended up falling over, I guess, into a stereo set and having a seizure where she eventually died. And everybody was kind of standing around and they're like, well, what do we do with her now? Well, poor Junko, they decided let's put her body in a gym bag and then put it in a 55-gallon barrel and fill it with concrete. And that's exactly what they did. And oh, look at this cool little thing here, guys. They dumped her body in the barrel here. How cool is that? Look at that. So, but now it's a park, but like it was the body, they found the barrel here. And they only found, well, they found, I don't, you know what's interesting? After I read it, they never said if they found the barrel before they found out of the crime. I don't think they did. Because there were so many different facts going around, well, not facts, interpretations of it, because Japanese crime is sort of hard to like get to unless you can translate it directly, which I did some with like the Futoshi Matsunaga case, which blows everything that I'm talking about right now out of the water in terms of crazy psychopaths. He made Charles Manson look like a freaking teddy bear. Like he could like get you to convert your Wi-Fi to a better plan kind of manipulator. Futoshi Matsunaga was like the king of all manipulators. But anyways, so on January 23rd, 1989, Joe Ogata and Miyano Hiroshi got called down to the police station and they were being asked about another crime. And one of the boys thought they were there for Junko, and he accidentally spilled the beans on everything. Spilled the beans because he thought the other one was going to, and they're like, "Oh, Junko, what are you talking about?" So they brought all the boys in for interrogation. They brought them there, and little did they know they found Junko's body in that barrel, and there was still some hair sticking out of the top of the concrete, which I refuse to show any photos that show the victims like that because I don't want that to be somebody's last memory. Like, I just don't want to give people that impression like, oh, here's a sweet girl. Here's a tuft of her hair hanging out of cement. Please remember her by that. So I don't have those pictures. You can find them online. They're super easy to find, but I won't show them here.
Have you seen them? Have you seen all the pictures of this case? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like kind of a gore fanatic. So if I hear something gross, I have to go searching for it.
All right.
So yeah, I saw some pictures that I thought were the original pictures, but it's actually from a movie that I won't watch.
Is there a
Gone
movie
Girl
about Jung?
Girls.
Is there a movie about Junko?
I think it's called Concrete.
Okay.
My friend in Rain and Blood would know.
Right. I might have to watch that because I didn't know this was a film, but I
I
mean
forgot how many
it'd be a hard watch, I reckon. If it just seeing it kind of like acted out by people, that'd be a hard watch, I reckon.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go into too much details about the court case because I'm trying not to talk too much. But I talk about it on my channel, and there's a lot of other channels that do them. And I'm just kind of dabbling what I do. Yes, these boys that did this to her were all between the ages of 15 and 18 years old. That was a key, something I forgot to mention. Guess how much jail time they got for this. Take a wild guess, chat. If you know the answer, don't answer it. But just I want to hear everybody's guesses.
I'm gonna say 10 years. I actually don't know. I can't remember. I covered this case very, very briefly on like a video once, but I never went into too much detail about anything. I'm gonna say 10 years.
There's 400 people watching right now.
417. That's insane. Crazy.
Oh well. Anyways, I forget which one it was, but the longest sentence they got was 17 years. Most of the boys only got 5 to 8 years. All of them were out of prison by 1999. They all changed their names. During the court hearing, Junko's mother actually had to go into a mental health facility. She had a breakdown, but Joe Ogata's mother actually got caught vandalizing Junko's grave site at the memorial because she was blaming Junko for how she destroyed her son's life. The Minatos ended up selling their house, and they were going to have to pay Junko's mother 425,000 American dollars, but instead they split the money out for the boys when they got out of prison. So there was absolutely no justice for Junko, except the only justice, I guess, the only thing that she really got was a name that people post all over their YouTube now, which I feel sorry for doing it. The girl in concrete is the only thing that she really got from that. No justice.
My God, that's absolutely horrendous.
I know, I'm all heated.
5 years. That's like tax evasion. That's people get more for tax evasion. That's horrendous.
You'd be surprised at what there's people that get longer for weed. Like the guy that tried to kill me only got 2 months. And he didn't, yeah. So
Oh, IKO, just tell that story briefly, please.
Okay, so my ex-boyfriend, he's deceased now, but we apologize to each other, so I forgive him. Broke into my house once and tried to kill me, and I ended up having to stab him in the chest with a steak knife. And then I had to call my job and tell them I couldn't come into work because I stabbed somebody. Just kind of happened. So yeah, I like it's traumatic, but like I talk about it so lightly to forget it. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. But they didn't really call it murder. But when somebody is like strangling you, saying, I'm going to go to jail for a long time this time, I might as well get rid of you. That seems like murder to me.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, the media makes titles for sensationalist purposes. And then we really lose like the true being of who the victim was. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, that guy, we ended up making up. I apologize. He apologized for hurting me. I apologized for trying to kill him after he tried to kill me first. And then, we just went on with our lives, and that was it. I went to his funeral when he passed away for real, but yeah. I just have a lot of interesting stories.
You do have a lot of interesting stories. That's why you're a good live streamer. So if anyone likes fucking mental stories, go and follow IKO because when we were chatting before this, she just came out with the wildest shit I've ever heard in my life, and it was like a 30
Oh,
minute
like how I had a
conversation.
guy brush my hair for 200, what is it, $200 every 15 minutes. He would just meet out in a car outside my work and he would just brush my hair non-sexually and give me $200. There's money everywhere if you look for it. I'm just saying.
Aiko's a professional entrepreneur.
I am.
She can give you business inside tips to make hard cash.
And if you're eating without video recording it and like sending it without sending it to people and charging it, then you're just throwing money out the window, girls.
Fucking brilliant. Okay, so what's next? What's next for this? So is that what are we wrapping up on Junko?
Yeah, that was the Japan thing because you put Japanese, so I was only going to do one, so I like threw this one in here. Oh wait, I wrote all over it. How do I get rid of that? I thought I was all cool, and now I just drew all over it. There we go. Next, we're going to be talking about the death of Fan Man-yi, or the Hello Kitty murder in Hong Kong. And I'm just going to tell you, Hong Kong, China, Hong Kong, its own region, China, its other region. We're not going to talk politics here, but this was a Hong Kong murder, not a China murder. So, yes, I do have a channel.
I'm going to put it in the chat. I'll put it. So, if anybody who wants to
you fixed it in the description. It doesn't say this is my link.
I did, yeah. I fixed it for because I was being unprofessional. But here we go. So
I thought it was pretty funny.
it was pretty funny to be fair. But man, I'm just not very I don't know, not very good at this kind of thing. To say I'm a YouTuber, I
don't know how I got here. I just walked in on Surviving Life doing a live stream once when I was like a little fucked up 2 years ago, and I was like, how did I get here? I like it. I'll just start my own channel sometime. So does anybody know about the Hello Kitty murder?
I've heard of it, but I actually know nothing about the Hello Kitty murder. I remember when I first started my channel and somebody told me to do it, and I just never got around to doing it. But it sounds just the name, like the Hello Kitty murder, just sounds real kind of haunting. The way it's like the Hello. I always find when something's like juxtaposed with something kind of cute, like a Hello Kitty thing, and then with murder, it's like that just makes it.
Yes, and when you said that, when you put that picture, I thought of this right away, and I was like, yeah, somebody said that was iconic. That's actually my slogan. Copyright. So the Hello Kitty murder, this all came about because in May of 1999, there was the girl was between the ages of 13 and 15. I think she's more between 13 and 14. Walked into a police station and started telling the most grandiose, crazy story that people thought she was high on drugs, saying that there was a woman haunting her, a ghost, because of what they did to her. And they were pressing her for information. What do you mean? What did you do to her? What did you do to her? And she said that it was the ghost of Fan Man-yi, a woman that they had helped, that she assisted in her torture and murder. So it started out because Fan Man-yi's ghost apparently was haunting.
Right.
So, this here is Fan Man-yi. She was 23 years old. She didn't have a very easy upbringing. She was abandoned as a child. She ended up going to girls' schools, getting addicted to methamphetamines at a very early age, and ended up working in a brothel in Kowloon, Hong Kong. So in the beginning of 1999, she ended up meeting, I really hope I finish this next slide. I've been up since 4:30 in the morning prepping for this, and this is where we're at, folks.
Thank you for doing so much prep, by the way. This is really cool. Thank you.
Oh, everything's better with a PowerPoint presentation.
Everything.
So she ran into a gentleman called Chan Man Luk, and he was actually one of her clients. They would do a lot of ice, methamphetamines together, have long sex sessions. He would pay her for that. Well, her whole journey in life got shattered when she thought it would be a great idea to steal between $2,000 and $4,000 American dollars out of his wallet. And the bad idea about that was that he was the leader to a triad group, and triads is an underground crime syndicate for Hong Kong. China has its own, Hong Kong has its own. I don't know anything about Korea, but Yakuza is for Japan. Anything that's Southeastern Asia, I have no idea, but every zone kind of has its own underground. And he was a group of the triads, and they're known for being very ruthless, not quite as organized as the Yakuza, a lot of drug trafficking, sex trafficking. So he confronted Fawn about this, and she was like, you know what? I'll pay it back. She ended up paying it all back, plus I think like 10,000 in interest, they said, in Hong Kong money. So she paid it all back. But that wasn't good enough for Cha Man Luk. So he got his two friends, Lon Shin Cho, and I don't speak Cantonese, so I'm butchering these names, okay? The only thing I'm certain about is fonts. I speak Mandarin. And Lon Wai Lun. He told them to go kidnap her because they were going to make her pay back her debt. So, sorry, I just dropped all my notes on my floor. Sorry, I lost my place.
No, you're good. With the triads, I tell you what's really interesting about the triads. I know that they've done some bits in England, and I think they had like a slight war with a criminal gang in England.
Really?
And I think the English won. They took him on and won. Yeah, I think because like there's this English mobster who was talking about it back in the day, where he there's a video about it. He's like an old dude now. He's like 17. He's like really wholesome and old. He writes poetry. He's like an old mobster, and he was one of the people who took on the triads. Like kind of went on for him because they were having like a bit of a war about some drugs and stuff like that. Really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've heard about the triads.
Triangle, the triads are a mean bunch.
Yeah.
They're like how did I forget? They're like the Mexican cartel of like the Asian underground crime groups, I would say. Because the Golden Triangle is right there, everything's right there. So you know what? I'm just gonna have to do this one by memory. Because I lost my notes. Okay, here we go. So, anyways, so he got the other two boys to kidnap him and bring him back to Cha Man Luk's apartment, which for some reason was large for Hong Kong, 5-bedroom, and was decorated in Hello Kitty stuff. To this day, do we know why? We don't have a clue, but it was a piece of crap apartment and there was a lot of Hello Kitty stuff around. So their thing is they were going to beat her up a little bit and then make her go out and prostitute for the money. But they ended up beating her so badly the first night. They were like, there's no way we're going to be able to use her for any type of money that deals with sex work. So they decided to have their fun with her. And she had kind of a similar fate with Junko. That's why like I decided to do these two together. So they would pour oyster sauce in her eye. They would make her chug hot oil. They would melt plastic straws all over her body and her feet. They would pick open her wounds and then they would rub chili peppers and spices into it to make them burn. They would like the girl named Ah Fawn, which is like the name that they gave her, that went into the police station. Like she defecated into like a shoebox and made her eat it. Like they would starve her to death. They would beat her with bamboo sticks, rods, sexually assault her, just like this until she literally couldn't walk anymore. Basically, like a similar fate to Junko's, until eventually she ended up succumbing to her injuries. And it was about a month that she had to go through this. And after she passed away, they left her in the bathroom for like I think like 4 or 5 days and would go to the video arcades to play games. And they would just come back. And then when the body started to smell, they're like, we're gonna have to do something about this. So they ended up chopping up and dismembering and bleeding out all of her blood in the bathtub with a handsaw. They ended up throwing bags of her organs outside the window, but they were storing it inside because they didn't want to get caught. So they ended up cooking and boiling her intestines and her head on the stove as the same time they were making their food. So some of it was getting intermixed. So that's pretty freaking disgusting until it was like this sludge and they can get rid of it. And they were boiling all the meat off of Fawn's head so they could eventually put it in. This is the apartment. I forgot to go here. So this is where all this happened. So it wasn't a nice apartment because they took her head and they sewed her skull into this massive Hello Kitty here. This is Fawn, which was the girl that was like 14, between 13 and 15. And she was going there, and I put a little square over this because this is actual pictures of real food mixed with human flesh and muscles from Fawn. So I covered that up. And so they kept some in the refrigerator. They tried to get rid of it as much as they could. And then they sewed her skull into the Hello Kitty and just kind of left it chilling up against the wall in their apartment. And then eventually Fawn started having the nightmares that she was coming back to get revenge or something. So she went to the police station and just opened loose on everything. She got no jail time, okay? Because she told everything and she was the star witness. The other boys, one escaped, but I think, what was it? I think they're all out of jail now, actually.
They're all out of jail.
But they only got manslaughter. They didn't get murder because they tried saying with their defense lawyers that, sorry, I'm going to cough. They tried saying that Fawn, what was it? Yeah. Died from a drug overdose, and it wasn't them that murdered them. They were just trying to hide the body. And since the body was so cut up, decomposed, thrown out the window and stuff, and it was more of like concretely word of like testimony from her, the other girl, that there was no way to indefinitely prove that what the boys did caused her death, that they got manslaughter instead of murder. So they're all out of jail now, I think.
That's mad.
Walking around the streets.
Fuck.
So imagine that. So that's kind of like and this is the real pictures of the Hello Kitty that they got. So that's pretty gross, I think.
Yeah, that's haunting to see.
That's not like a thorough go through of everything. I'm like kind of struggling because my throat kind of hurts.
No, that's all right. No, that's good. You've done well though, like with the strep throat. Did you say you had a strep throat?
Yeah, I had strep throat. Like literally, my tonsils were so swollen. They're still kind of swollen. My lymph nodes and stuff, or whatever it is, like you can see them.
That's my biggest fear, getting strep throat. Because if I get strep throat, I'm fucked.
Yeah, I mean, that's your thing.
That's my thing.
I don't have a thing yet. I just wear oversized earrings.
That can be your thing, I'm sure. But that's insane. I've never actually heard of the Hello Kitty. That was way worse than I thought it was going to be. So much worse than I thought it was going to be.
Hello Kitty, way worse. So that wasn't in depth, but like I think Lazy Masquerade did one on the Hello Kitty murder. Was that him or was it a different one?
I don't know actually. I've nearly watched. I think I must have seen every single Lazy Masquerade video. I've watched him since he had like 30k subs. I think I subscribed to him when he was smaller than I am now. So it's quite crazy to.
Yeah, he has the good one on the killer Futoshi Matsunaga.
Yes.
So I would recommend checking that out. I did a 2.5 hour live stream talking. It's better than this on Sean Atwood's channel. Last what was it, like 4 or 5 months ago?
Do you want to give a quick download on that one real quick? Like, unless your voice is fucked, just like a real brief.
My voice. Oh, yeah. Okay. So basically, Futoshi Matsunaga, like I said, compare him to Charles Manson. Charles Manson could only convince me to up my Wi-Fi plan, but like Futoshi Matsunaga could convince me to like kill my entire family. He actually didn't kill any of the people that he got charged with killing for at the end. He convinced the entire family. I'm talking about like a 5-year-old and 8-year-old, a mother, father, 2 sisters, and a son-in-law to kill and torture each other until they were all gone and then dismember each other, the last one, along with some random girl he picked up throughout the way, and then flush the bodies down the toilet and make a stew out of it. That guy is fucked up, and he didn't have to do anything except some mind fucking. It was crazy.
It's insane. I'd love to know how he did that. I'd love to know like how do you do that? It's insane.
Blackmail. So like he would bring them over pieces by pieces. Oh, can you help me change the pipes in my bathroom? Oh yeah, those pipes you just changed. I put a dead body down there and it flushed it down the toilet. So now you're an accessory to murder. So now you're going to torture your kid and do what I say, or I'm going to turn you in, shame your whole family, and you're going to go to prison for helping me kill people. And one by one they fell.
Madness. That one's a really crazy one. I can't remember the full-on details of that, but I remember watching it thinking, what actual fuck? It was just a real mind-fucking kind of case.
Matsunaga. Yeah, and he did that to an entire family, and like it was insane. Like I was like, it's such a large case, but it was such a sinister case that the press in Japan all unanimously agreed not to cover it anymore. Like I had bought a Japanese Times newspaper. I went on the way back machine. Everything freaking gone. I had to go on the Japanese duck. What is it? The Japanese, what is that? Duck, duck, go
Go,
search
go, go.
engine or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. I had to go on the Japanese one and then go way back to find anything on it. It was insane. And I had to translate for that.
Fuck. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty cool about. So with IKO can translate. Um, what can you
fair
translate?
amount.
What languages can you speak actually?
My Japanese, I can speak. I can read and write Japanese a lot better than I can speak and listen. Like I can listen, but I have trouble with grammar and with a little bit of a learning disability. So I'm better at translating, reading, writing, or whatever. Mandarin, I can understand basic because I lived in China for 5 weeks. When I was getting my degree, I was actually supposed to get a fully paid 3 years by the Chinese government to study at Shanghai University this summer, but I turned it down. They weren't even going to pay for my kids, but I figured they just want me back over there because they want to silence me. Um, and then a Korean, I just started because I like K-pop, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm not ashamed to admit it. So yeah, the Korean's not going as good as I hoped. I'm basically K-pop level. I call hot guys oppa. That's about as far as I get.
What does OPA mean?
And I oppa, it's like an older gentleman that's like kind of like a senpai, but not like as sexy.
Oh, does it mean like daddy then? Is that basically what?
No, appa means daddy, but oppa, when I mean it, I kind of mean daddy, but
Okay, right.
it
I see.
just
Yeah,
means
yeah.
like an older gentleman.
Right. I see. I see where you. Yeah, I see where you're going at. Amazing. Okay, that was really good. Thank you so much for sharing those because
I can't believe there's so many people watching.
I know, right? How crazy is that? 444 people. That's the most I've
And
ever had by double.
I got to use the glitter blood. Never let somebody tell you not to spend $10 on glitter blood because you never know when you're gonna need it.
It came in handy, clearly.
Yeah, I taught myself how to read and write Japanese when I was in the 7th grade because I was really into Japanese pop music. K-pop for life, Effie. Agreed. Taemin forever. I'm a nerd. This is why I'm single. Okay, guys. I'm 34, and you don't even know. I wish I could show you. My whole room is literally floor to ceiling K-pop posters, and I have to start putting them on the ceiling.
Amazing. What an admission.
It's a mission.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for coming on as well with such a poorly
Thanks
voice.
for having me.
No,
You're
you're more than
you're
welcome.
way more fabulous than me. You give me nightmares.
Well, that's good. I'm glad I'm doing my job properly. So that's good.
I just like showed up here and just like, hey, how you doing?
I tell you what's really crazy. Somebody's going to get a Disturban tattoo. How mad's that? Someone's going to get my avatar, my channel picture on their body. They're going to get it permanently tattooed. I think I've
That's
reached that level now. I think that's pretty
I
cool.
have Smashing Pumpkins tattoos.
Oh wow, I'm not a big fan of Smashing Pumpkins, but I love 19 what is it
1979.
1979. What a fucking tune! I love that song. And what's the other one? Tonight.
Oh my gosh, yes. I had breakfast with Darcy Retzky from the Smashing Pumpkins because she came into a restaurant I worked at when I was 17. And I said, you know what? You look like Darcy Retzky. I would notice those lip injections anywhere. She's like, I don't know how you noticed me. So she invited me down to have breakfast with her, told me how much she hated Billy Corgan
Oh
and all
wow.
this stuff. And she signed my Melancholy CD, but she was really fucked up. So she wrote Dracy instead of Darcy. So I can play a bit of the bass guitar, but only Smashing Pumpkins.
That's really cool. What a cool story. No way is this. Why did she hate Billy Corgan? Is it because he's kind of gone a bit doolally tap?
I don't know. She didn't really say. She didn't really say. She just told me about her coffee table books a lot. But I met Billy Corgan twice. I got in trouble for stalking him at Tower Records in 2005. I asked him to marry me, and he told me no.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Stalking. If it's within 5 minutes or 5 miles, that's just a drive by.
Amazing.
That was a joke.
Right. Okay. So oh shit, my earphone's falling out with that. There we go. So yeah, I mean yeah, we can wrap that up then. So everybody go and check out Aiko's channel because she's very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I tell some stories.
Tell stories, and she has the maddest life experience stories too, so it's very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, we're gonna cover Unit 731, and there's a series, and the people on my channel are gonna hate me for advertising it because if I had to push it back, but I was talking about cannibalism in modern China during the Cultural Revolution and certain provinces of China. They like, and I'm talking like these are years that your parents or your grandparents were alive, and these people are still walking around today that were forced to eat people because the Chinese government would not give them food, or they were basically forcing you to do it just because they're heinous people, the Chinese government. Yeah, it's crazy story. So there's a lot of crazy shit that happens in China that you guys don't know about.
It's really mad actually because over here in Australia, when you walk through Sydney, there are just so many people.
Chinese are up to some shit right now.
Yeah, there's so many people. Yeah, there's so many Chinese people in the street handing out anti-CCP flyers, and they're like showing all these pictures of what's been happening and stuff in the streets. It's anywhere you go in Sydney, you'll find in Brisbane too. I haven't seen it. I've been to Brisbane, Sydney. Haven't been to Melbourne.
Oh, anti-communist propaganda.
Yeah. A lot of anti-communist. Yeah,
which is
so
good
much,
because
it's everywhere.
right now, the whole entire world is turning their backs on the fact that they have basically a Holocaust going on right now in the Xinjiang province of China with the Uyghur population, and it's sad. And I think Australia and India and England are some of the countries that are kind of like, you guys should cut it out. And then they're really starting to push back on these countries. And if you have TikTok, you're actually allowing all of your personal information to go to China because that's a Chinese-owned company. I'm ranting now.
Well, China have infiltrated everything.
Yeah, China owns TikTok, and even though they have headquarters in the United States, since they're internet company in China with their servers in Beijing, the Chinese government can go in there anytime and be like, give us your service data. And they do, and then they sell the information to terrorists. Yeah. So if you have TikTok, you give them permission legally to look at everything in your phone. So I never will use that. So that's why the government phones aren't allowed to run TikTok anymore. It's a security risk.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I think America are even thinking about banning it at some point too.
They should.
Yeah. But well, does anybody have any questions for IKO at all? If anyone wants to ask any questions, please feel free to ask, and I'm pretty sure she'll answer them for you.
I like to talk.
So I'll do that for a quick 10 minutes, and then I have to go make a video because I need to finish off writing, and I need to record my voice and then edit it for tomorrow. So actually, it'll be tonight in your... What time is it for you right now?
Right now it's 7:52. It's time for a cup of coffee. Well, let me post my link. I don't know if it'll let me post my link in your chat. I don't know if it'll let me show you. Somebody asked like what my link was.
Oh, your link tree.
It's in the description. If you go to justiko.com, justiko.com, it has all of my socials there.
You know what? I might be able to quickly copy and paste it. I was just putting your actual YouTube channel in as well in the chat for people to go and subscribe to you.
Yeah, I'm in Chicagoland. It's really expensive here. They charge you to drive on the roads.
There we go. Yeah, your link tree is in there under YouTube as well, so people can quickly go that.
Yeah, but thank you for everybody for watching.
Yeah, thank you everyone. We've had the record number of people, but I think at one point we're like 472, which is like an absolute record, which is pretty cool.
That's more people than I've had friends.
Yeah, me too, by a lot. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you for everybody for watching. Thank you for having me, and yeah.
Sick. Well, thank you. Right, so I will probably end the stream here, unless I don't know if anyone wants me to stick around for a little bit longer.
Well, I'll like disappear then because I'm running the Zoom call.
Oh yeah, of course you are. Yeah. So
say what you gotta say. I don't know how to end this. This is my first time, guys.
Yeah, we didn't really know what we were doing.
Well, can't you just? I don't know how to do it. So.
Actually, no. I'll tell you what. We'll end it because I've got loads I need to do. I need to go and finish off writing. So we'll end it here. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on, and I hope everyone enjoyed. I'm sure they did. So yeah, there we go. Right. Yeah. Thank you, IKO. So I'll chat to you at some point in the future. We'll probably do a stream with a few other people all together at some point. We'll get a few people in. Good. Yeah, we'll get a few people in. We'll just shoot this shit for a while. So
sounds good. Yep. Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Sweet.
Okay.